After 4 long years of no Black Mirror content, the hit sci-fi dystopian anthology series is back on our screens with 5 new episodes. If, like me, you've already binged the entire season, then you might have shared a similar feeling that I had. Season 6 feels different. Not bad, but different. I suppose it makes sense, given how much has happened culturally and socially since the summer of 2019 when Series 5 dropped, and as a Black Mirror superfan, I think it's great that they're trying to keep things fresh. After all, there are plenty of series that suffer from a long, drawn-out and repetitive death. But why is it that the show shifts its focus? Let's take a dive into what makes Black Mirror Season 6 feel different. The first episode of the season is Joan is Awful, and it is by far the most traditionally Black Mirror feeling of the season. The episode follows an everyday woman called Joan, who discovers one day that a streaming platform is making a show about her life. With its high-concept meta premise, sinister undertones, with some campy moments and a signature twist, Joan is Awful is a really well-executed Black Mirror story, and it makes total sense as to why this one kicks off the season.
God!
Next up is Loch Henry, which follows a young couple making a nature documentary in a Scottish village who become morbidly fascinated by the village's sinister past. This is an almost 180 to Joan is Awful, in that it is extremely gritty and grounded in reality. True crime reality, to be specific. The only real technological link here is represented through the video cameras used in the story to create the documentary. A commentary on how the retro aesthetic has been repopularised with younger generations. The episode does have its big twist and impactful ending, and has the same bleak tone as a typical Black Mirror episode, but it's as far away from sci-fi as it gets. The middle episode returns to a story with an intriguing technological concept. Beyond the Sea takes place in an alternate 1969, where 2 astronauts on a long space mission are able to telepathically link with replicas of themselves back on Earth, who live as them with their families. This is the first extended episode of the season, and the one which is by far the most sci-fi. We've got space travel and clones, all packaged within a family drama. The 4th episode, Maisie Day, is the shortest of the 5 at just over 40 minutes, and follows a paparazzi photographer trying to take a $30,000 photo of a celebrity involved in a hit-and-run incident. This episode is also no dystopian sci-fi, instead focusing on the social commentary surrounding privacy, a theme that is prevalent throughout the season and wider show. Demon 79 is the final episode of the season and is perhaps the most removed from the Black Mirror formula. However, consciously so. The episode opens with a Red Mirror Presents title sequence, something which Charlie Brooker explains as signifying the episode is different from, yet adjacent to Black Mirror. This is another extended episode and is set in 1979, following Nida, a meek sales assistant who's told she must commit 3 murders in order to stop the incoming apocalypse. More 70s horror than dystopian sci-fi, and the only episode of the season that had a co-writer, former stand-up comedian and Miss Marvel creator Bisha K. Ali. So, 5 very different episodes. But what's the pattern? The first common thread is that the focus has shifted away from technology and more towards social commentary. Any technological aspects that were included this season were not particularly far-fetched or the central cause of the conflict. The use of AI and the quantum computer in Joan is Awful isn't really speculative. They already exist and are being used today. Not necessarily to the extreme seen in the episode, yet. Anyway, you've only got to look at the rise of ChatGPT and Photoshop AI. And whilst the link and replicas seen in Beyond the Sea is a lot more akin to the Black Mirror technology seen in episodes such as Be Right Back, I'd argue that it's not the focus of the episode, which is more about loss, family, and jealousy. If anything, this season is more of a genre exploration than anything else, from the true crime documentary to space drama to retro horror. However, I think despite the varying genres, they all do still share that unique Black Mirror tone. Partly what contributes to the lack of technological dystopia is this season's focus on the past. Aside from Joan is Awful perhaps, the past plays a direct role in each episode's story. Loch Henry is set in the present but spends the majority of the episode fixated on past events surrounding gruesome murders. Beyond the Sea is set in an alternate 1969. Maisie Day is set in the 2000s during the particularly trashy era of paparazzi. And Demon 79 is set in 1979. With the exception of Beyond the Sea, where it is an alternate past, meaning the technology concepts can be weaved in, the others are limited to the tech available at the time, and so therefore naturally it isn't the focus, as the majority of the technological advances that typically inspire Black Mirror episodes have been from the last decade or so. So, if technology isn't the focus and the season explores a range of genres, what is the glue that sticks it together? Before I continue with the video, I have an announcement to make. Over the past few years, I have been working on my debut short film, which is now available to watch here on YouTube. Speak for Herself, a film commissioned by BBC Arts and Arts Council England, was born out of a love for Black Mirror and other content like it. The film dives into AI, privacy, and centres around the question, what would you say if you had 1 minute to speak to the world? If you're a fan of Black Mirror, then I think you'll really enjoy it, so it'd be very much appreciated if you could give it a watch and share it. The link to watch will be on screen now and at the end of the video, as well as in the description. Thanks so much, and now let's get back into the video. So, the glue that sticks it all together. In my opinion, there is a single theme that links the entire season together, and that is exploitation. Joan is Awful highlights the exploitation of artificial intelligence and someone's image. Loch Henry examines the exploitation within true crime and its victims. Beyond the Sea explores exploitation of friendship and goodwill. Maisie Day hones in on exploitation of someone's right to privacy. And Demon 79 highlights exploitation of someone's morals and race. Exploitation within Black Mirror dates back to the very first episode in 2011. And that is why, despite the subject matter changing, these new episodes still feel like Black Mirror. In an interview with Esquire, Charlie Brooker comments on all of this, saying he was trying to divorce his own mind on what the show was meant to be, and that Black Mirror has always been that humans are weak is the story, rather than technology is evil. Having teased potential more stories under the Red Mirror banner, perhaps the future of Black Mirror is changing, and we're to expect a more expansive Black Mirror universe. After all, the show was one of the key programmes that repopularised the anthology format, so it makes sense for the show to expand its perspective. But what did you think of Black Mirror Season 6? Were you a fan of the new direction the show took? Let me know in the comments below, as well as if you'd like to see any more Black Mirror content. Also, please be sure to check out Speak for Herself. The link is on screen now. Thanks so much for watching.